dispatcher's slow as shit. Well, you call and tell him. Well, don't give a damn if you ain't got no thumbs. You call and tell him.
Yeah, it's
Stop
a
looking
major
at my
problem. The waiting time, that is, not the fact that dogs don't have thumbs and can't use a phone. That is probably a good thing, because if they could do that, they would literally never stop texting you shit like, fuck, I just saw a squirrel, and miss you, love you, fuck, just saw the squirrel again. And while this isn't a new problem, long waits at loading docks have actually jumped significantly in recent years. And if you are paid per mile and lose half your workday waiting, you are incentivized to try and make up for that time once you're on the road, which does make sense. If I only got paid per joke about AT&T, I'd try and cram in as many AT&T jokes as possible. I'd be dropping them like AT&T drops calls, because the more Johnny burns, the more Johnny earns. This can be a real safety problem for all of us. 5,000 people each year are killed in crashes involving large trucks. Now, the government has tried to address safety concerns by mandating brakes and limiting the number of hours truckers can be on the road. They even require electronic monitoring devices like this one that log when the truck is moving to ensure compliance. But many drivers find that frustrating in a different way, because it limits their agency over how and when they can drive.
We're not computers. We don't have an off button. The thing this does do is it forces you to get up and go if you're tired. It forces you to get up and go if you don't feel good. And it's not about running 24 hours a day. It's about making a common sense decision on how you feel, how the road conditions are, whether or not you want to run to a rush hour.
That's like my car. And I tell you the coffee cup, it means that my car
there are some jobs you can absolutely do if you don't feel good.
And just
like
said
this
it's
one,
been
for
on
instance.
since he
I
got
feel
it.
like shit all the time. Look at me. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because this desk isn't moving towards you at 80 miles an hour. So the consequences of my poor job performance are not likely to kill
when you are
anyone.
too tired
And when
to
these
drive
rigid rules
is a
bump up
very
against unpredictable work hours, drivers are put in an impossible position. Take this driver, whose company made him take his 10-hour break during the day when he couldn't sleep, and then found himself driving exhausted at night. And when he called his dispatcher to say that he felt unsafe to drive, just watch how badly the call went.
Like, how does it turn off?
Problem, dude.
Like, you have to obviously reset something.
But get a load of this. The K&B dispatchers, instead of telling him to just get some rest, hot potato aid from one dispatcher to another. Each of them with the same advice.
Get some coffee, and then okay, we don't have a choice on this. Get a cup of coffee, walk around the truck, do something.
I already did that earlier, man.
Let's get out and get some fresh air. What is it, about 10 degrees outside?
Yeah.
That'll wake you right up, right?
I'm telling you, I'm not safe to drive at the moment.
Okay, boy, then here's the deal. We don't have a choice on this.
What?
That's not how it works here, KB.
I say I'm not going to hurt anybody out here on the road.
You know what?
And not risk your life.
I don't need this morning,
This dramatic bullshit that I don't need
I
this
don't
morning.
need
What
that this morning. That is a
shit.
hell of a statement. Get out of here with that dramatic shit until at least 1
I think
p.m.
being
It's what
tired
the
and
mum
driving
says.
is worse
Don't
than
confront
drunk
me with the
driving.
potentially lethal consequences of my reckless
Significantly
decision-making
worse.
until after I've had my coffee. So drivers end up getting squeezed between regulations and the companies that they drive for, and at no point in the process are their own feelings or needs taken into account.
Like, you don't
and that is
realize
not the
when
only
you
way
fall
that they get
asleep.
squeezed here, because the second exploitative quirk of this
At
industry
least
concerns the
fucking when you're
relationship
drunk, you
between
still are
drivers
conscious and you're able
and
to be like,
trucking
I'm not
companies.
driving well.
Many carriers classify drivers not as employees, but as independent contractors.
If you fall
While there
asleep
are
at the wheel, you
some
don't even
to
realize
whom
you
that
fell asleep
label
at the wheel
truly
until you hit
applies,
something.
those who genuinely have the freedom to choose between different loads and haul for whomever they want. The fact is, many companies misclassify drivers as independent who work exclusively for them and whose day-to-day lives they fundamentally control. And there are obvious reasons for companies to do this, as this trucker explains.
I am not classified as an employee. I'm classified as an independent contractor, but I have very, very little control over the success or failure of my company.
Yeah, well, starting my life,
Despite
bro.
his so-called independence,
So
Pryor
I'm
works
no longer
exclusively
going
for shippers, which
to
doles out his daily routes. He's seen his paychecks dwindle and has none of the protections he would get as an employee.
As long as we're independent contractors, they don't have to cover benefits. They don't have to cover sick days, bereavement, leave time, holiday pay. It just saves the company money.
And
Yeah,
now
of
they tell
course
you
this
pay
is
into
attractive for
insurance, pay into
companies.
union,
They
and
don't
after
even have
90
to give
days,
you time
don't worry, you'll
off
get
when
all
a
that
family
stuff.
member
And
dies.
then
So
they fire you.
unless your nana's wake is being held in front of the
Schedule
diesel
you for a
pump at a
graveyard shift
Wawa,
if they know you
you're
can't show up.
probably not going to be able to attend. And it actually exempts them from even more than what he just said there, because it also allows companies to avoid paying payroll taxes, workers' comp, and unemployment insurance, as well as the minimum wage. And if that wasn't enough, being an independent contractor means all the costs and risks of truck ownership get pushed onto the driver. Just watch as this explains exactly what was left of her household earnings once she and her husband had accounted for all their costs.
We made $150,000, right, in a year. That sounds great, right? That's like good money. We paid $100,000 in fuel. Okay, so right there, now I made $50,000. But I didn't really, because, you know, you get an oil change every month, so it's $300 a month. You still have to do all the maintenance. We had a motor blowout, right? $13,000. Right? I know. I mean, I choke up a little just thinking of it because it was.
And she's laughing about it.
It was $13,000, and we were off work for 2 weeks. So by the end of the year, with that $150,000, by the end of the year, we made about $22,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Look,
so sad.
I am no CPA, despite the face glasses
I
and
actually watched
insatiable
a really cool
horniness for numbers
documentary
that
about
strongly
female truckers.
implies otherwise. But that seems like a
And
pretty
this chick
shitty
was like,
bottom line.
I'm a
Well,
tough
most of the drivers
chick,
we've seen so far
but,
to
like,
be
I
in long
couldn't
haul, this
handle it
independent
because I'm a
contractor
female,
problem also
and
very much applies
a lot of
to
the
those at
times
either
truckers
end of the
have to
shipping
piss in
process too,
bottles
like
and
port truckers, where one study
shit on the
estimated
side of the road,
2/3
and
of them
she
are
was like, I'm used to
misclassified. And
having,
also
I had a lot of
last
brothers
mile
growing up,
drivers.
like, I'm
Those
used
are
to
the
being,
people who drive box trucks or
a
sprinter
little
vans
bit,
to
like,
deliver
fucking
stuff
gross,
directly
but, like,
to
not,
your door.
like, anything
You know
like
how you
that.
see
She
FedEx
said
ground
that
trucks?
she couldn't
Those
even handle
aren't
it because
actually
it
FedEx employees, despite every visual
was too
indication to the contrary.
unhygienic
They may
for a
wear a
female.
FedEx
Like,
uniform,
when you get your
their
period,
truck
what are you
may
supposed
say
to do?
FedEx on it, and they may exclusively deliver packages for FedEx, but they are technically independent. If you look carefully at the side of their trucks, you will see small fine print indicating who actually owns it, and it's not FedEx. Amazon uses a similar model with its delivery service partners. And again, the appeal for Amazon is obvious. Using drivers that aren't direct employees allows them to distance themselves from liability when things go wrong, which they do, particularly given the ridiculous pace that Amazon expects. You've probably heard all of the stories about drivers having to urinate into bottles because they didn't have time to stop. That speaks to the relentless pressure to deliver hundreds of packages per shift.
People are busting their ass, driving way over the speed limit. People are running through stop signs, running through yellow lights. Everybody I knew was buckling their seatbelt behind their backs because the time it took just to buckle your seatbelt, unbuckle your seatbelt every time was enough time to get you behind schedule.
Yeah, that's not good, is it? I thought that everyone knew the only place it's absolutely fine not to have a seatbelt is, for some reason, a school bus. That's where we collectively agreed to skimp on them as a society. The kids will be fine. We'll put a little stop sign on the outside. They'll be fine. And if you think that non-stop pressure seems like an accident waiting to happen, it already has. Investigations by ProPublica and BuzzFeed found that in a 4-year window, drivers delivering Amazon packages have been involved in more than 60 crashes that led to serious injuries, including 13 deaths. That's more commonly known as Bezos' dozen. But again, Amazon is basically off the hook here because these drivers are not their employees.
And the guy who
They're
fucking hit
independent
him,
contractors,
hit
meaning
that
that the
bus with
contractor
fucking
is
high
responsible
school hockey
for anything that
players
goes wrong, not
a
them.
doctor.
In fact, under Amazon's
And his
contract,
wife was
they're
a
even
doctor?
fully responsible for paying Amazon's legal bills
That
in
was
the event of
fucking
a
just 'cause
lawsuit,
they
which,
couldn't
you know what,
afford it.
is actually only fair. It's not like
They're
Jeff
fucking their
Bezos can
school
afford to
fees
pay
and
all
shit,
those
so he
lawyers.
took on
He's
a side
spending
job
his money
doing
on things that
trucking.
truly
And
benefit
his
society,
first,
like
after 3
launching
months,
himself into space before
they
disappointing
put him
everyone
on a
and coming back
double-load
home
truck.
safely. And amazingly,
double load
I've got
18-wheelers.
one more exploitative quirk of this industry to show you. And it's something called
And there have been
lease
like fucking
purchase
many
agreements.
accidents at
This
that
is a
same
system where
intersection
drivers who
on top
cannot
of that.
afford their own truck are offered the chance to lease one from the company they drive for, with the promise that they'll earn enough to eventually pay it off and own it. Here is one company giving you the hard sell.
Own your future with Western Express. Find your true potential and earning power with truck ownership. Western's lease purchase program is like no other. There's no money down, no credit check, and no balloon payments. At Western Express, we deliver independence, one driver at a time.
Okay, for what it's worth, I am immediately suspicious of phrases like own your future and find your true potential. Companies with selling points like that typically leave you with nothing but debt and a closet full of leggings designed to turn your crotch into a magic eye poster. And the fact is, Drivers who participate in lease-to-own agreements almost never succeed. One trucking company executive even estimated that of all the drivers entering into their lease purchase program, only around 5 to 10% actually ended up successfully taking ownership of the truck. So the odds are heavily against you. And
Interesting.
Say goodbye to the old sorting rules. Just remember, containers, packaging, printed paper.
An immigration and refugee board hearing in Calgary has ordered the truck driver who caused the deadly Humboldt Broncos bus crash to be deported. Jaskirat Singh Sidhu was the driver of the truck that crashed into the hockey team's bus in rural Saskatchewan in 2018. 16 people were killed. The CBC's Linda Ward has more.
Teenage kids were killed.
Jaskirat Singh Sidhu is to be deported according to the ruling from the Immigration and Refugee Board today. He is the driver of the truck that collided with a bus carrying the Humboldt Junior hockey team, the Humboldt Broncos, back in 2018. That happened near Tisdale, Saskatchewan. He ran a stop sign and drove into the path of the bus carrying that hockey team. There were 16 people killed and 13 others injured during that collision. He was sentenced to 8 years for dangerous driving, but granted parole last year. Now, Sidhu came here from India in 2014. He does have permanent residence status in Canada. The Sidhu's lawyer has said the decision was an open and shut case because all you had to prove to deport Sidhu was that he was not a Canadian citizen and that he committed a serious crime. Now, several family members of the victims of that crash had been asking for him to be deported for several years. His lawyer argued that officials didn't take into account his remorse and his previously clean criminal record.
He's a
his
doctor.
lawyer is saying that he won't
His wife is a doctor.
be
He's like a heart
taken
surgeon
into
or a
custody
brain
after
surgeon or
today's
something.
hearing. There are a number of other legal avenues that can still be explored here and some procedures to come, including a pre-removal risk assessment. There's also an application that he can make for permanent residency on humanitarian grounds. He can reapply for that permanent residency, but he cannot appeal today's ruling. He can also ask for a deferral while that request for that permanent resident status is considered. So his lawyer says that after today's hearing, obviously this is not automatic. This is going to take months, he says, or potentially even years. That's the CBC's Linda Ward.
I'm just saying. Oh yeah, because
Matthew.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, that makes sense now.
That's so cool that all the parents of kids that died for the past couple of years have been saying that they want him deported, not because they're like, oh, we don't want to fucking pay for him to be in jail. It's only so that he can get out of jail and go back to his homeland. Because he's obviously not like a murderer that's meant to be in jail. It was a legit accident. And I'm sure there are people that actually blame for it, but they will never actually get consequences. You turned your bath off?
No.
Yeah?
No.
You didn't want me to go?
Yes.
I spelled propane wrong. Propane.
Propane.
You're so cute. I love when you do this. He throws his toy to himself. Is it this guy?
Say goodbye to the old sorting rules. Just remember, containers, packaging, printed paper.
Evan Thomas is one of 10 Humboldt Broncos killed in the crash, and today his father opened up to CBC News at their family home in Saskatoon. Here's Susan Ormiston.
Tell me about what's on this table. It's an interesting collection.
His first goal from his SJHL career.
Scott Thomas wants people to know his son, Evan, 18 years old, in his first season with the Broncos.
His sense of humor, his humility, his passion for life that he had. He would have found a way to make his mark. Probably something that required a lot of brain power, but he would have made his mark in some field that would have utilized the potential he had between his ears, that's for sure.
Evan was smart. He loved KD, baseball, and hockey.
His name tag from his dressing room, the stick that was left behind. Mustn't have been his gamer, probably his practice stick. That was left behind. We got from the dressing room.
Last Friday night, he was on the Broncos team bus. Scott was in a car 45 minutes behind.
We pulled up to the accidents.
No.
No.
No. There's
Okay, if there's one AI site
one
builder
of the
you need
father, and he was just like, I was ready to give that guy a fucking piece of my mind. I had so many things that I fucking practiced that I was gonna say to him, like, and the fact that the guy fucking broke down and was weeping, it was honestly like the first thing I thought was he was pathetic, like, and obviously this guy's not a cold-blooded murderer.
Say goodbye to the old sorting rules. Just remember, containers,
Why?
packaging, printed paper.
I'm not surprised by it. Certainly, I think right from the start, Mr. Sidhu probably knew, and his lawyers probably knew that he was fighting an uphill battle. It is the law as it exists in Canada right now, and I think for something like that to be overturned, there would have to have been something significant, and I know this is a controversial issue amongst the Broncos community and certainly amongst Canada in large, and so I'm not surprised that that's what the judge ruled. I'm certainly sad for Mr. Sadhu and his family.
Oh wow.
As you know, right from the start, we kind of advocated for him for the
Really?
opportunity to stay in Canada. But,
Really?
clearly the powers that be and the legal minds that are out there decided otherwise. So,
That's so
like
fucked
I said,
up.
I'm sad for Mr. Sadhu's family, but I'm not surprised, unfortunately, that this is the outcome. One of the things I said before is my opinion that, he's in a prison in his mind for the rest of his life.
Oh.
So to our family, it doesn't matter where he is,
Huh.
whether he's here or
Oh,
over in
wow.
India. I think he's going to suffer with his actions and
Well,
the consequences of
obviously-
those for the rest of his life. And, unfortunately, I think he's still probably fighting an uphill battle
Poor guy.
and in his last attempt that he has. I don't even know if I'd say it's 50-50, but I have some of my best friends that say, put the guy on a plane and get him out of here like right now. And these are some of my best friends. And
Really?
and then there's, other people that reach out to me that, are encouraged by my stance on this.
100%.
But
This is Canadian.
I think it's so controversial. I really do. And that's why one of the reasons I'm not surprised that the judge ruled it the way he did is that's the law. So let's uphold the law. And as he said, who knows what politicians are going to do? I gave up trying to figure out those guys a long time ago. So I really have no idea how this is going to play out for him. And, unfortunately, it's pretty controversial, his position and where he's at. So
Yeah, but everyone else
I don't know how
fucking
politicians are
opinion
going
to
to
it should
gauge
be
that one.
irrelevant. Like, as if it wasn't your kid,
As
then
you know,
I
Mr.
don't
Snowden and I did have
see
some
why your
words
opinion
in
should
the
be so
past.
strong about it.
And,
When he's like forgiven the guy who killed his son
he's
by
going through stuff
accident,
too.
and other people are more pissed
everybody
about it
does
than
in
he
their
is, like,
lives.
that really makes sense.
And,
Like,
you only have one option. And that's just to keep putting one foot in front of the other and trying to make you stay better. And that's all he can do, and that's all any of us can do.
Aw.
Everything else is kind of out of your control. So
oh,
that's
hello.
pretty much as easy as
Yeah.
it gets, I guess.
You need pot already?
Yeah, no, it's because I totally forgot. I traded a little bit of pot for, what do you call it? Propane.
For what?
For propane. I needed a new propane tank.
Oh, for the barbecue.
Yeah.
You absolutely need it for night.
Well, kind of.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
You could just leave it in the mailbox if you want. You just leave it in the mailbox.
No, it's because I'm not even home now. I saw him a bit just having a beer, chilling.
Okay.
But what time were you planning on coming by? Like later or now?
Whenever you're ready, I guess.
Maybe I can have him, but he's been drinking. He's not gonna want to drive me home and back.
No, let's just come pick you up.
Yeah, I guess.
You're in Lachine, though?
Hey?
You're in Lachine?
Yeah, of course I'm in.
Okay, yeah, I can always just pick you up.
Yeah, okay. Just let me know when you're ready to bounce, and I'll see if I have a way to get there. I'll get it ready for you.
Other way around, Dom.
Pardon?
Other way around. You let me know when you're ready and you're done your fucking beer.
I mean, I've never done beer. I mean, no. If you need it now, you need it now.
No, I don't need it right this second, of course.
I mean, if I can get it right back home, I'll put it in the mailbox somewhere.
Okay, but I could just pick you up at the same time if you want.
Is that true? Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
At least I'm not driving.
Okay.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Having a beer, chilling. I'm not home. What? Whiskey.
You know what? It's better that he's not sitting at home by himself. Like, I'd rather him be out socializing with older people his age.
Older people his age.
Doing what all the old men are doing.
Oh, world fucking boss. Boss, baby.
The more I think about it and the pictures that we have around our house and, playing some junior hockey myself back in the day and being a part of hockey teams, they were just a good group of kids. And the amount of time that they spent together,
No.
You know, that was a good team. They were good kids, every one of them, and I know that was certainly Darcy's vision for that group. And you know,
All you do is cry.
guess it depends on how existential you want to get with it, but you know, they were a good group of kids, and for Evan specifically, he was just such a empathetic young man. He had a big heart, a huge heart, and a very old soul. And you know, I think if he'd still be here, he'd probably be going through medical school right now or some other type of professional college to find a way to be a positive impact on as many people's lives as he could be. So, you know, so that's what we're left to try and do in his name. You know, we got tournaments and scholarships and things that we're trying to help with the next generation of the kids coming through Saskatoon, and just let them all know a little bit about who Evan Thomas was, for sure. We always still look forward to the holiday season because it's our chance to get Evan home, and we made a big deal out of having him home at Christmas time, and a lot of positive family memories, certainly around this time of the year. But you know, in general, Karen, it's one day at a time. I mean, every day you wake up and he's still the first thing on my mind and the last thing when I go to bed. And you know, we just try to put one foot in front of the other and do the best we can as a family to be a family and support our daughter and what she's doing now, and then also just to continue Evan's legacy. You know, and you know, I said all along that our family forgave Mr. Sadu a while ago now, and it wasn't so much to set Mr. Sadu free, but it was to set our family free.
Yeah.
And you know, now we're free to move forward and do the best we can in Evan's name for our community and try and be a positive impact in his name here. And that's what we really concentrate on now. And it's that Evan's legacy and supporting that, and all of these other things that happen from time to time. You know, it's just another sad chapter in a horrible, tragic story that is going to play on forever because it was a tragic event in Canadian history.
This is a very good representation
and this is
of
going to play out forever. And, you know, we're characters in this book and this whole chapter of Mr. Sadu and his deportation now. It's another chapter in that book.
Get away.
It'll be written.
That's what Canadians do.
You know, and our family's going to carry on.
There's no point of fucking holding on to that shit.
Like I said, being the best family that we can be in Evan's name.
And forgiving the person that fucking killed or took someone that you love away from you, that fucking is a good example of fucking what Canadians do. I watched also a documentary about the what do you call it? The death penalty. And all these people that someone was murdered in their family and they go into the room and they watch the person fucking be put to death and how much worse they feel after. And they're like, I was so excited that I thought that I'd feel better after the person that killed my family member was put to death, but now I only feel worse because now someone else is dead and my fucking family member's still gone. And it doesn't give them the satisfaction that they think it's going to. Fucking Alan. I guarantee you he's doing this on purpose. I hate making posts like this, but I'm struggling pretty seriously right now. He said that he got hit by a lady in an SUV, a BMW SUV, and she took off after.
And he's trying to get money.
Out of Jesse, because Jesse was not answering them because he already gave him like $300. So now he says, oh, I was hit by a car, and everyone was like, well, why don't you go to the police and report it? He goes, because I have to make money busking. And now I can't play guitar because my hand is all fucked up.
Just go fly a sign on the fucking highway. He knows that. He knows that. That's
no, he's adamantly trying to guilt trip Jesse into sending him more money. Yeah. Like.
Yay. 15, motherfucker.
Oh, and this is Jesse to be like, yo, just don't fucking let him guilt trip you into, because doing it publicly, that's for people to be like, oh, well, what happened to this? What happened to that? And it's oh, the guy who fucking was helping us out can't fucking give us more money or can't help us out anymore. It's just to get public, what do you call it, sympathy.
Yeah.
And it guilts him into getting him what he wants. So. You know what? I do give him kudos though for fucking toughing it out up until this point, because like it took me fucking years of having full-on mental breakdowns 45 minutes into being at FIIAAAH, and I have a nervous breakdown because they sucked me dry. And I was like, I don't think they actually like me. I don't think they're really my friends. They're just using me for my stuff. Yeah, kind of, because that's kind of what they do. You have to be tough enough to tell them to go fuck off. Because the first thing I even told him, I told Jesse that I was like, you know what? Just saying, the first thing Joker even said, he would go fly is fine. He knows that. So that tells me that I'm kind of right.
Yeah. Where is he?
What?
He's not in Quebec.
No.
Oh, it's fucking. That's the way to make money everywhere else than in Quebec.
Really?
Yeah. In Quebec, they're assholes about it, but. Quick.
You're so sad all the time. Woe is whiskey.
Yeah, poor whiskey. So sad.
Poor whiskey, so sad all the time. Very sympathetically fucking worded. Wah. Cut you, say.
And as for the whole delivering independence part, that is the real irony here. If you are leasing a truck from the company you work for, you are now tethered to them. You are reliant on them to give you loads to earn money, paying back to them to pay off your lease on top of all the other expenses they throw at you. This has been a common problem for both long-haul and port truckers.
It takes drivers until each week, they get paid each week, and it could take them until Wednesday or even Thursday before they even begin to make $100. And the reason for that is because the company charges them to use the company truck. They charge them to maintain the company truck, to buy new tires. They even charge these guys to park the company truck at the company yard overnight. They can't even take it home.
Oh, it gets worse. In one case, a company even charged contractors for using company toilet paper. All of which can lead a driver to actually owe their company money at the end of the work week. Can you imagine picking up your paycheck and finding an envelope full of negative $5 bills? You'd be absolutely furious. And yes, that is John Wilkes Booth on the negative 5, which makes sense. He can sort out to Lincoln. You know, just like how Aaron Burr is on the negative 10 and the negative 100 features the 72-ounce steak Ben Franklin joked on while trying to win a T-shirt. Learn your history. So drivers are basically stuck here. If they stay with the company, they can end up scraping to get by. But if they leave, they risk losing the truck they've poured so much into, as most lease-to-own agreements stipulate if the driver leaves the company, it can take back the truck, leaving the driver with nothing. It is frankly no surprise multiple trucking companies have settled over accusations brought by drivers who found their lease-to-own agreements predatory. And in fact, Western Express, the Own Your Future company, is currently awaiting court sign-off of a $15 million class action settlement right now. And I know at least one person who might be happy to hear that, because just watch this former Western Express driver talking about how she felt misled after opening a paycheck that came to, after all the company's deductions, just $293.
I'm pissed the fuck off. If I had the strength to pick this truck up and throw it straight to Mars, I would. Don't listen to those recruiters, because I'm telling you, they fucking lying. Lease purchase here is a lie.
Yeah, and it is probably a good thing that people aren't strong enough to hurl a semi-truck to Mars, because if they were, NASA would probably have to plan their rover missions around the constant rain of 35,000-pound debt traps. So what can we do here? Well, first, we should probably recognize that we have all gotten used to the idea of free next-day shipping, but crucially, someone somewhere always pays the price. Second, the work arrangements that drivers endure and the fundamental lack of value placed on their time clearly needs to be addressed. And the good news is the Departments of Transportation and Labour are set to examine the type of predatory truck leasing arrangements that we just talked about. They also plan to study the issue of driver pay and unpaid waiting times. And hopefully they won't just study it, but actually also fucking do something about it. Because the key way to stop this so-called shortage of drivers that we've actually had for years now is to make this a job that people actually want to stay in. And until we make big changes here, the very least we can do is make our trucking reality shows a little more reflective of what life on the road for so many drivers is actually like.
Trucks, the lifeblood of America. They flow across our highways, driven by people tough enough to do one of the grittiest jobs on earth.
There's a lot of ways you can die out here.
All right, baby, we're gonna get there. From the makers of Ice Road Truckers and World's Toughest Trucker comes the realest reality show yet. Each week, watch the best drivers go up against the biggest odds, navigating tough weather, bumpy roads, and hardcore budgeting. Kids, 14 grand for the engine, fuel, oil change.
Don't forget the new tires.
Right. Oh yeah! These old road dogs have diesel in their blood, and they're living the American dream.
Yeah, it's kind of like being a cowboy. I'm independent, so I got my freedom. I just got to haul what my company tells me, where they tell me, during the hours that they specify, in a truck that I pay for and do not own. But on the plus side,
There's no slowing down for these road warriors, because in the freight industry, every minute counts. Except during loading and unloading.
Dang it. Come on.
Because those hours are not
Burgers
compensated.
right? Burgers right.
Is this your card?
Yes, this show brings you all the thrill,
that's piss. That's my own piss.
all the drama.
Is this a charge for company toilet paper?
A man needs to wife, and all the romance of life on the road.
I miss my wife.
The action literally never stops.
Hey, dispatch, I'm not safe to drive right now. I'm falling asleep.
Roger that, driver. Why don't you pull over, lie down in the back, curl up, and fuck yourself right in the face? Because I deal with that baby shit. Over.
Well, I'm just worried that someone could get hurt.
Oh, somebody could get hurt. I didn't realize I was talking to a drama queen. Hey, Tony, get a load of fucking Hamlet over here. To drive or not to drive? That is the question, am I right? Yeah. Whether just nobly in the mind to someone
Drive, not to drive, that's the question, am I right?
That's you. That's what you sound like.
You guys seem to both know a lot of Hamlet verbatim.
Get back on the fucking road.
Hell yeah! Get Get ready for 100% excitement, 100% adrenaline, and 100%
Well, no, I didn't bring a coat.
oh shit! And it's not just truckers. This show brings you everyone, from the drivers to the company owners.
Whoa. Owners is a pretty strong term. And we have a much more casual relationship with our trucks. No labels. I mean, why complicate things? I'm having fun. You're having fun.
This paycheck says I owe you money?
Is that right? Booyah! Yeah. Do you have the cash?
Tune in to the show that brings you as close as you can get to the trucker life without actually being one.
Okay, so yeah, neither one of us go to the dentist anymore, and you bring your own toilet paper to work.
Yeah, I just ordered a new pack from Amazon.
You what?
Truck Tom, coming to the History Channel for some reason.
That's our show. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Good night.
This thing's full of old Backstreet Boys posters. I don't know why they need them. You want a chip? You don't get one. I went shopping for caskets last week online. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, man? I'm hanging on by a thread. Ow, 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 ow. Dear Rebecca, I'm sorry I missed your play. Mother said you did real good. I can't wait to see you. I just have to get this load in Reno. This thing is power, pure power, man. I feel so strong. It's like driving a gun. I got a load. I got a big fucking load. I wish I was fucking dead. Yeah.
I love you. You're the best.
I love you too, baby. Want to show a good red?
Yeah, please. The only reason it's because I'm talking to Debbie, and she asked me about my mom. Well, I don't talk to her anymore. And you know what? Debbie's married to my uncle. So, and Debbie grew up with my mom. Like, Debbie didn't have shoes that fit her. Her toes were sticking out of her shoes, and my grandpa gave her like $20, and he was like, "Go get yourself a pair of shoes." So, and she was his nurse, whatever, while he was dying. And when my mom overdosed the first time, Debbie was there with her. And when I left, I was like, should I stay? Like Debbie fucking Debbie used to be the threat when we were bad as children. I'm gonna send you to Debbie's house. And we're like, no. But Debbie cut my umbilical cord actually when I was born. Yeah, no.
Hey, bath time.
Wait, no.
No?
The cigarette.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh. So I do with a word?
Yes, I did. I'll finish the rest.
You had a word on it. Love you, baby!
I love you. No food in there for a small joint? Yeah. I'll roll it. Your turn.
Yo, shut up. Shut up, Mr. Hey, stop it.
No.
Boink. I feel much better. I feel so much better.
I have goosebumps because I feel so much better.
Good.
Because I'm able to talk to somebody who actually fucking knows what I'm talking about. Because every person that is like, why don't you talk to your family? Because, it's not worth it to hold a grudge and never fucking, because one day you won't be around him. It's like, you know what? I just can't fucking have the conversation about it with anybody because you have to know my mom and you have to know my family and what they're very, you know what? After reading my grandmother's diary, my mom was an impossible child. Just impossible. Like, and she's always been that way. My mom always gets her way. No matter what, she always gets her way. Even when she knows that she's doing something she should not be, she has a really good way of convincing people that she's the victim and people will feel bad for her because she's struggling with something, and then she gets her way. Like, and I have called the ambulance when she would OD. I fucking would wrap her wrists and give her my wristbands when she fucking cut, and fucking we had someone to show the house to the next day. Like, it wasn't Caitlin that was there for all that. That was all me. So fucking, if that was the line as to where they can and cannot accept me for me fucking wanting to have a career making weed stuff, and that's like to them, it was her son, John. I talk to John every once in a while. Fucking John was like, yeah, but you gotta fucking, when they see you making weed butter, to them, you're fucking Breaking Bad cooking meth. And I was like, that is a very good point, John. But you know what? If it had ever come up previously where it was not okay for me to be making the weed butter, I would have been like, okay, so what would make everybody feel more comfortable about me making weed butter? Like, I figured 8:00 at night, the kids are in bed.
Yeah.
Like, are the kids that come upstairs and reach into the boiling pot of oil? Like, is that? Because, like, when he came out yelling, I started laughing. I thought it was a joke. I thought he was fucking kidding. But he came out in the front yard and was like, you're cooking drugs in front of my children. I started laughing. Because I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, and for all the times that I have been the one that was there fucking making sure shit didn't get worse, like, and that's where the line was, where, and you know what, growing up in that house, like, we're in no violence. We don't even have water guns. That's how much we are a no violence family. And for them to take his side first and say, Caitlin said that I hit him first, and then he corrected her, being like, no, I hit her first. I'm like, why the fuck did he even do that? Like, why didn't you just, like, keep letting them think that, because they would have believed him. They would have taken his side and they would have said that I hit him first. Like, and that's why, like, no one fucking puts their hands on me and gets away with it. Ever, ever, ever. I didn't want Charlie to see me hit his father, but any other circumstance, I would have hit him. And I, for a really long time, regretted that I didn't, because I feel like he got away with putting his hands on me, but I feel like it's more of a punishment for him that I didn't, because it would have just proved that I'm a dangerous junkie that can't be around children. So, like, and I said it's because ever since Allison died, my mom, and I shouldn't have listened to her, because when Allison was dying, I was like, I have things I want to ask her. How am I supposed to deal with her when she's not around anymore? Because when I'm trying to fucking deal with my mom and nothing is working, I'm trying a bunch of different things to try to fucking get her to stop being destructive, I would go to Allison, because Allison would be able to recorrect her when I couldn't. And I was like, what am I supposed to do when Allison's gone and she fucking starts being destructive and won't stop? And she was like, you can't ask her that. And I was like, why not? She was like, because she's the one who's dying, not you. It would be selfish to ask her that, because it's not about you. She's the one who's dying. And I regret not. I should have told her to shut the fuck up and just ask her anyway, because ever since Allison died, my mom has no fight left in her. She can't even stand up for me when someone is just being physical with me, and I know that he did it specifically when my dad wasn't there. Because he would have never fucking done that if my dad was home. I've done as much as I could to help them. They're better now, and my mom's better than she was then, and that's a good thing. Like, I don't want her doing drugs and fucking putting her family into eternal debt. Like, she's better now. It's a good thing. She couldn't handle me when I fucking needed her, and that's fine because I don't actually need her. And it's kind of probably a good thing because if I would have stuck around, like, I started noticing that I have narcissistic tendencies. I have a lot of narcissistic tendencies of making the world be like revolving around me, as if fucking everyone's after me, everyone's out to get me. I never get fucking benefits that other people get, like, and it's not true at all. I was using that as an excuse to not have to try because it's too hard. Like the crying thing. I used to fucking cry every day, multiple times a day. And I was very convinced that I was born broken and I will never be normal without medication. I will always feel terrible and sad because I'm my mother's daughter and that's how I was born. Which is just so not true. Like, I'm not angry. I'm not sad. I just had to stop being around people that are constantly saying, why are you so angry all the time? Because something shitty in my life was happening at the time. And they just did not really want to put effort into... My mom used to always say, because Caitlin needs it more. Like, fucking... Why does Caitlin get fucking her college paid for and I have to fucking literally pay all my applications myself and fucking pay for my own school and shit? And Caitlin, and what she always say, because Caitlin needs it more. And you're tougher. Like, yeah, I know that. That's why I used to have to go with Caitlin to her doctor's appointments because he's too stupid to tell the doctor to fuck off when he tries to feel her up. So fucking she wouldn't go see the doctor anymore without me going. Because he'd be like, fucking, why is she in the room? Because if you start fucking saying something that's sketchy, I'm going to tell you to fuck off. She's my older sister. She's supposed to be protecting me, not the other way around. Same with her friends. My mom was like, man, you got to stop stealing Caitlin's friends. And I was just like, I wasn't adamantly stealing her friends. I'm just cooler than her. Her friends would come over and they'd end up hanging out with me. And she's like, Caitlin doesn't really have very many friends as it is. You already have a lot of friends. I'm like, I'm not in control of who fucking wants to be friends with me or Caitlin. They can be friends with both of us even. Like, it's just people like hanging out with me more. That's all.
We can do both, yeah. Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Yay.
Can't believe Debbie wants a fucking starter plant.
Yeah.
I had 7 going. What? Wait. I want to know if that means Uncle Greg smokes pot. That would be fucking amazing. That would be so funny. That would be so weird and so funny.
It was like my ex in Toronto, her family. Everybody's like military on the.
Yeah,
on
that's
the
gonna
dad
be the
side.
same thing.
The uncle's wife and her mom didn't know that the whole fucking family grow and smoke weed. They were the two only one not being okay with it, not knowing anything.
You know what? It's amazing how many fucking families are like this.
Yeah.
Dustin used to freak out just because they smoked weed and he wanted to keep it hidden from his family. As it turns out, during that whole time, they were all on mushrooms. Like their aunt and and her daughter and their whole family. They would do a family affair where they're taking mushrooms at the Canada Day party they would have. And it was like, oh yeah, by the way, guess what? I'm like, oh no shit. And then we'd go see burlesque shows. I was like, oh really? So yeah, all those times where I give you shit and be like, oh fucking can't let my family know that we're drug addicts, we're fucking pothead drug addicts. And the whole time they were fucking all doing way fucking crazier drugs than I was doing. Like, I don't know. To me, weed is not a drug. It does not kill people. Like, and you know what? If you drink water in abundance, you'll have negative side effects. Everything you do, breathing too much air will have negative side effects. Yep. Like literally everything.
Oxygen is the deadliest poison on earth.
But like to say that weed is in any way, of course it will have negative side effects if abused. Like everything in the world that you put in your body. Right. And a lot of people are just not educated about how to fucking properly consume weed. Ever since it was legalized, it feels like there's less and less information, and the information that's out there is not accurate or doesn't really do justice to what weed could potentially do. Like, for sure, weed is not for everybody, but if everybody smoked a little bit of weed, everyone would be so much nicer to each other.
I fucking agree with that.
Oh, I think, honestly, it was even Dustin. The first probably 6 months was him making fun of me that I'm a burnout fucking stoner and that I think I'm cool because of weed. And he was like, I only smoke weed recreationally. Like, yeah, that's why you don't like weed. You're doing it wrong. Yeah. You don't go out to a club and smoke weed. If you don't usually smoke weed, you're not going to have a good time. You go home, you watch a series.
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah, and get a bunch of munchy food and sit on the couch and binge watch a whole season of something. That is how you smoke weed. It is not meant to be cool with your friends. It's meant to chill with a buddy. Like, and he said it changed his life. He was very set on his opinions on people who smoke pot. Very similar to Alan. And finally the time he did it, he was like, "Oh my god, this changed everything." I'm like, "I told you it would." Like, I'll make their sausages when I come back. I'll make their sausages when I come back.
Sausages.
What else do you want?
You don't have anything else?
Do we make alternatives? I think we did. There's some leftover meat, but I was gonna give it to him.
Why?
Because I didn't really feel good after the spaghetti that I made.
I did.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if that's why your farts are so bad.
Oh.
Because the meat wasn't good. Because you know what? We looked at the date on the meat, and the reason why it was so far is because we froze it. We usually freeze the beef for a couple days. So,
well,
I just don't want to give you bad meat.
Maybe we can do bolognese with some of those sausages.
That's a great idea. Okay.
And cut them in pieces.
That's a great
and
idea.
Fry them in the pan.
That's a great idea.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to eat like just years. You know?
No gays here.
Yeah, no gays here.
I don't know. I think I occasionally might want to suck a dick. I think that means you're gay.
Yeah.
Like, well, I have sex with women too. Yeah, but
I mean, you're not supposed to say two. You're just supposed to say, I have sex with women.
exactly. Like, maybe there are some people who are bi, but even then, I feel it.
I know.
I just said that to.
Just keep your fucking sexual preferences in the bedroom.
Oh my god! I just heard them talking about the Florida guy, Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
He made a bill that says no teaching, because they're like, oh, don't say gay bill, and he was like, I want to make it a point that nowhere in this has it ever been like stated don't say gay. No one's saying that you can or can't say gay. It's instructions. You're not allowed to teach kids instruction about from kindergarten to grade 3. So some guy who's a kindergarten teacher, he goes, well, what am I supposed to do if a child is a gay guy who's a kindergarten teacher? He's like, what am I supposed to do if a child asks me? I tell them to do a family tree, and I show them a picture of me and my husband, and they start asking me about my husband. Am I supposed to lie to them? I'm like, no, you can still. I don't think anyone is saying that we want to not say that gays exist to children. I'm saying don't talk to anybody's children about your sex life, whether you're gay or straight or a fucking dolphin. I don't really care. Don't talk to my kid about, or anyone's kid for that matter, about sex stuff before grade 3. Like, you can just say it's my husband because we're a gay couple, and that's fine. Like, and that's a hypothetical. If a child asks me, you say we're a gay couple, and then you let parents know later on that day. Be like, hey, listen, your kid was asking me a bunch of questions about my relationship with another man, so maybe you should talk to your kid about that.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all that the bill is basically saying. And I'm like, I think that's pretty fucking fair. They're like, oh, it's a don't say gay bill. You can't say to children under grade 3 that gays exist. That's not even what anybody's saying.
Thank you.
It's just so weird. It's such a weird thing. Children don't ask questions about that stuff. He's making a hypothetical about things that children don't really ask about. And they're children, so you can give them a very vague answer. Like, to drop the subject. Because it's not for any other parent to talk to another person's children about anything related to that. Like, sex ed in grade 5, I think, is the first one you got. The first one I got was it 6? I thought I got it in grade 5.
No, it's fucking grade 2.
No, I heard now it's grade 2, but when I was in school, it was
grade 2.
That's fucked up.
To learn how babies are made.
Really?
Yeah.
For me, it was grade 5, and they were using videos from the early 80s. Rainbows keep falling like sunshine and rain, and apparently they're still using those same videos now to teach kids about sex stuff. But, like, that's too early. Grade 2 is too early. There's teaching kids anatomy, like your body parts, and all you really should be...
Maybe I was in grade 3. I'm sure. Because I can't really remember, because in grade 2 I was on that side of the class, because there's 4 classes. Because it was... and in grade 3 I was on the other side, so it's like the same thing. It's a huge circle of classes, and in the circle you had the library and the computer room.
Was it immersion?
No, it was not my school.
No, but you did one day French, one day English? No. Really? It was only French?
I never had fucking English.
It was only French?
Yeah. It was all gay.
That's what fucked me up from the fucking get-go. The immersion thing, doing one day French, one day English. How am I supposed to learn math and French if I fucking don't even speak the French language yet? I'm like a child in elementary school. And I remember every year my teacher would get more and more, like my teacher that I would end up for a French teacher would be less and less patient. And like, even in grade 1, Madame Primo, she was even there when Charlie was in school. I think she retired the year that he would have had her as a teacher, but she used to fucking abuse the shit out of us. I was eating a May West in my desk after lunch while watching a movie. We weren't even doing anything. We were watching a movie, and she fucking came over, grabbed me, fucking strong-armed me, ripped me out of my desk, dragged me outside, threw me up against the locker by my hair. Yeah. Eat Colin Burrell. He fucking also was abused by her. Same with Kendra Bradshaw. These are all people that fucking, at one point in high school, we were like, yo, there was that time that Madame Primo, she fucking was physical with you, eh? And we were all like, oh, yeah, I remember that. I can't believe you remember that. Like, there was a bunch of kids. And it was mostly because I didn't understand what she would say, and she'd get all frustrated and storm off because I couldn't understand what she was saying. I even went to a French private preschool.
Jesus.
I was the only English kid in it. Paige Radcliffe. She lives in Australia now. She was the one who fucking went to fucking. That lady probably would have fucking also abused me if Paige weren't there to tell me everything to do, so she wouldn't get mad at me anymore. What was that lady? Madame Ibera, I think her name was. Oh, the way I actually learned French was Mary Lou. She was a French girl that used to live around the block from me. And she would point at something and say it in French, and I would point at the same thing and say it in English. So we were teaching each other. And that was like how we'd communicate, basically in caveman language. Oh. Collision.
Collision.
What?
It's already 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
You cook food before you leave?
No.
Oh.
Because I'm just going to Dom's coming back.
Oh. It doesn't call you back yet.
I'll call him right now.
Oh, okay.
Unless he's going to be later, then I'll make food first. But...
It's already 9 o'clock.
Okay, well, I'll go right now. I'll call him right now.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
You ready if I come now?
Okay, then come me up at Kimberley.
Where?
Between the Pizza Hut and next to the Dollarama.
Oh, yeah. Why did I think it was called something else? The Bayou. I thought it was called the Bayou.
I can't hear you.
I thought that place was called the Bayou.
The Bayou.
Yeah, well, I don't know. All right.
Maybe after a case of beer, it's called the Bayou.
Whatever. Okay. Anyway, I'll leave now.
I'll go. Anyways, I think I have some ice cream cake ready. I'll just get it ready. You can drive me back.
Okay.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I can't believe my Uncle Greg smoked pot.
You don't know yet.
No, she said he did, but I missed it because he stopped, and now he just bites and stuff. And she said that he doesn't smoke anything anymore, and I was like, fucking, there's no way that Uncle Greg does not smoke cigars. Like, my Uncle Greg is very much a cigar guy because he is rich. And he goes to like the Dominican all the time, and or used to at least. I don't know if he still does, but he used to fucking go to a vacation in all these trucks. The last time I went there for Christmas, he got us, me and my sister, T-shirts from his last vacation, and he was like a multi-millionaire. And me and Caitlin were like, "Oh, great." T-shirts from your vacation. That was probably super fun. Thank you, Greg. Just fucking to get someone else a T-shirt of the vacation that you went on is kind of like you would have loved it. We had so much fun. I think there's a joke T-shirt like that. I went to wherever and all I got was this lousy shirt.
What? I said.
I don't know why. Sometimes I do this with my feet.
I did that when I was on speed, like with my hands too and holding something, and sometimes I wasn't even holding anything.
No, it's honestly, I even do it. I've done it since I was a little kid.
So it's stretch.
No, it's when I play Minecraft, especially. When I'm playing Minecraft, I'll be like, why do my fucking legs hurt so much? And I'm like, oh, it's because I'm doing that weird thing. Or sometimes I'll have a wrapper in my hand that I picked up at some point without realizing, and I'll have it clenched in my hand, and I'm like, what am I holding super tightly? I'm like, oh, a random piece of paper that I randomly picked up. And I've been squeezing it for about an hour without realizing. Okay. I've been a little bit drunk.
Shut up! Fuck you up, nigga.
Oh, I know. I'm so hurting you. Woe is whiskey. Woe is whiskey.
Hey, shut up.